varying degrees of success, but we in there.
Man,
What's going on, Chief? How you feeling, man?
I am good. How about yourself?
Good. Doing all right. Doing all right. Top of the week, so we can see where it goes from here, man.
Oh yeah.
Um, so for those just coming in, as always, tag a few people that you think would benefit from this conversation. We are talking about things pertaining to the art of worship, things that are pertaining to ministry, music ministry, bringing the pastoral and the music ministry together, raising our level of excellence, all that. So tag your friends, tag your music directors, your musicians, singers, all of that, and hit that share button. All right. So we just go. We're not going to delay. We got the man, the myth, the legend, Kory Guy in here, and I've known you, I guess, about a year. It seemed practically day one of me relocating down here.
Yeah.
We met fairly early, um, and man, it's been some great stuff that I've witnessed since
Hey, is
then.
this
So
is this live?
yeah,
Is this live
yeah.
on Facebook? I'm trying to
It's
share it.
on YouTube. Yep. Just look up my name because I can't go live from my straight up page.
Yeah.
But yep, if you go,
Oh, that's
yeah.
probably why.
So it's my
I
personal
was trying
page.
to
I'm still
share it.
posting it. Yep, straight up on YouTube.
All right, let me see. Let me see. Ah, all right, here we go.
Cool. I'm actually shared in a couple spaces myself. Um, so yeah, man, I think I'm gonna ask the question like this because it's I don't know. I guess it opens up in a different way. So I kind of when I met you, I was made aware of both of your professions at the same time. So not only do you do various things in the church under the music ministry umbrella, worship arts umbrella, but you're also a realtor, right?
Yes, I
Okay.
am a licensed realtor. Been a licensed realtor since 2018.
Okay. Okay.
Crazy story. How I even got to that is I've always just had a niche of finding properties.
Okay.
I'm intrigued by buildings. I'm intrigued by um, like I can see it, especially like church wise. I can see a
Mm-hmm.
building and say like, hey, this can be the kids' room. This can be the sanctuary. This can be the layout.
Yeah.
Um, so much so that I think back in let's see, 2004,
Mm-hmm.
no, 2005 or six. At the like my mom and a couple of my aunts, they all wanted to move in together because my grandparents were getting older and
Okay.
sickly. And one aunt, her and my uncle, they lived in Garland, so they moved to Fort Worth.
Okay.
So I was like, y'all should just go get a big house together. And like I went and found the house that they ended up building.
Wow.
And was like, yeah, y'all could have this room, this could be that room, this could be this and this. And I'm not a licensed realtor at all.
Mm-hmm.
And they end up buying that house and living there. And crazy part is I ended up selling that house when I got
Okay.
licensed as a realtor. Probably they moved in there maybe in 2005, so maybe they moved out in 20, right at COVID, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
20. So
Mm-hmm.
they was in there 15 years. I sold the house and
Mm-hmm.
helped them downsize to buy another one.
Wow.
Um, I found the house me and my wife currently live in. We built it 9 years ago, but I
Yeah.
found it. And we had a realtor, and I wasn't a licensed realtor then. I
Wow.
found the neighborhood, I found the floor plan, and then I called the realtor. And then I realized, like, yo,
I could just get out the middle there.
and they probably made, I don't know, maybe seven, $8,000
Okay. Yeah.
commission off of, not from
Mm,
us per se, but
for sure.
I helped find a couple churches I play at. It used to be called Ambassadors today. Now they changed the name to Reverend Worship Center.
Okay.
Well, I found two of the buildings the building that they're in right now. I found it.
Wow.
Kind of
You
helped
just,
negotiate the deal.
mm-hmm.
I didn't, I ain't had no money, so I wasn't sitting at the table. But yes, I've always kind of had a niche for realty, and I remember um, one of the ladies at shout out to Ida Halfman, Mother Halfman. She was like, "You should go get your real estate license." And I'm like, I thought about it, but I didn't know. Like, I don't want to go back to school. I don't want to take no tests.
Right.
Finally, I prayed about it, and 2018, no, 2017, I talked to my wife, and she was like, "Go do it if you want to do it. You want to try, whatever the case may be."
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, it I paid for it. I didn't take it out of our like house income. Like it
Right.
wasn't, we wasn't gonna not pay the light bill so I can go pay for real estate classes.
Right. Right.
So the crazy thing is what I did is I said, Lord, if you help me get my license and pass, I'm gonna just pay for this weekly as I go, and I'm gonna just do gigs.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to pull this money from savings or nothing like
Yeah.
that. And literally, it took me 6 weeks to pay. I mean, go through my classes. It took me probably 2 months because you got to take a final state test and a national
Right.
test and all that type of stuff. So
Right.
yeah, so that I believe it is part of my purpose.
Oh, definitely. As you're
So it's
talking
not
about it, it
just
makes.
it's just not a passion or a hobby. Like
Mhm.
I watch real estate shows on TV,
Yeah.
like to this day. Even though I know a lot of it is fluff, but
Mm-hmm.
some of the stuff they talking about is like real. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm still active realtor. I have not been as active, like because
Mm-hmm.
I've been in a church season for the past 7 months, but I'm
Okay.
still in it.
Yeah. That's. I mean, that's a beautiful story, and I can see how it kind of plays into, like you were saying, like your call and even the way you do ministry. So as you
Hmm.
were, this kind of thing, I guess you started doing the realtor thing in 2018, but you really started.
I got legal in 2018.
Correct.
I
Correct.
got legal.
You were doing this since early 2000s. You said about
Yeah,
2004. So were you full time music at this point, or were you just doing other
man,
odd and
I
even
have honestly been full time music since 2001.
Okay. Okay.
Honestly, like I have, um, and this is not a brag by any,
Absolutely.
but it's just been the grace of God
Yeah.
that now I've had probably 4 or 5 little on and off jobs where I'm clocking in somewhere.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I was working full time at a church. This was probably, I don't know, 14 or 15,
Okay.
and I was working overnight doing a security job downtown Fort Worth.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why to this day. Um, but I did it and it was crazy. I would go to work, like we would have staff meeting and I'll be there, then I'll go home, sleep until 9, go to work from 10 to 6, 7 or something like that. But the
Hmm.
crazy thing is the job I had, it was security.
Right.
I'm, type flight of the, what do you
Right.
say?
Right.
Uh, I can't think of the
Ultimate world.
Friday
Yes, sir.
type flight of the world.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the job was so chill. I mean, like literally, I would take my MIDI keyboard and work
Hmm.
on music for
Yeah.
church, or I would go in there and like sit in the back of the room because they couldn't see us on cameras, and
Hmm.
I sleep. I get there at 10, and by 11 o'clock, I'm sleep till 3.
Crazy. My boy is in San Diego right now. He had an overnight security job at like this
Yeah,
power plant. Same situation, mostly full time music, but did overnight security. And
yeah,
same deal.
and
He'll bring his bass and track it. I used to I was a lessons manager at Guitar Center, and
woo,
I had compartmentalized my job so much so that I could get all my work done for the day in like 2 hours. And so I was also at a church. So after I got my work done, dude, one of my books that's out, I wrote it while on the clock, or like I would, they had the little lesson boost, so I'd be
Yeah,
pulling
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
off the
yeah,
wall and going in there and tracking.
yeah,
Wow,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so yeah, I definitely get it, man. Like it's crazy
Man,
how that stuff works out.
yeah, it's been some. I've worked at Walmart,
Hmm.
doing remodels, and it was always, overnight. I worked at FedEx. I worked at the post office. The
Yeah.
crazy thing about the post office, man, my mom, she'd probably jump on here in a minute or something.
Okay.
She worked at the post office and she retired after like 25, 30 years.
Okay.
So
Cool.
my mom, I got out of high school and I went to it's called Media Tech now,
Okay.
but it used to be called Dallas Sound Lab.
Okay. Is that like
So I
a
went,
conservatory or?
no, not really. It's more
Okay.
like, man, it was more like a trade school type
Gotcha.
thing.
Okay. Okay.
So like I went, now mind you, this is 2000. This is 25 years ago,
Hmm.
and they're in there teaching us how to cut 2-inch tape, like with a razor blade.
Oh, like like old school studio.
Yes.
Oh,
So yeah, like we
okay.
working with
Okay.
2-inch reel. Pro Tools is
Hmm.
around, but you know what I'm
Right.
saying. We was actually working out of a studio that Erica Badu did a lot of stuff at, called
Okay.
Dallas Sound Lab. Kirk Franklin and the family did a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of that was a pretty known studio.
Okay.
But anyways, like I end up going there after high school
Hmm.
and going through the certificate program. Thought I was going to be the next big engine recording engineer.
Mm.
So I'm in there, and I would go to work at the post office during the day, go to
Yeah.
school at night,
Okay.
and I worked there. And finally, I quit the post office. I was like, man,
Hmm.
sucks, but it was paying for me to go to get this certificate thing.
Yeah.
So then I ended up getting back. No, I quit the post office because I didn't like it. And I was young too. I'm 18, bro. At the time, I'm 18. So then I get
Yeah.
up and I get on at FedEx.
Hmm.
Well, my first day at FedEx, I don't go to work because I couldn't get my tire changed.
Mm.
And we lived probably at the time staying with my parents. So I'm 40 minutes away from FedEx,
Uh,
just young. And so I don't go, I missed my whole first day of work.
Crazy.
So I get to work the next day and I'm basically there loading the back of an 18 wheeler,
Hmm.
boxes coming off the thing, just about to
Which
die. In the
which FedEx
summer,
location?
huh?
Which
I
FedEx?
was at Alliance
Okay.
35 North. So
Okay.
I did that for maybe 6 weeks. I
Hmm.
quit. My mom got me back on at the post office.
Thank God for Mama. 'Cause
Oh, but
Mama.
then that didn't last too long.
Hmm.
And I told my mama one day, I said, man, I did what's best for the company. I wanted to make room for somebody else. Because they was fit to walk me out of there.
Yeah.
I was young. Like I didn't. So I would say at that point, I was probably 20, 19, 20 at that time, around that time, maybe 19. Yeah, 19.
Okay.
And I never kind of went back to a regular
Traditional
job. So
job.
I've been like you can say full time music.
Hmm.
Uh, you can say full time ministry. I'll say ministry probably didn't start for me till later on, but
Okay.
we can talk about that.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure we'll get into that as we kind of
Yeah.
weed them out. But so talk to us about what you're doing now. Like, where are you serving? Like, what's your official title and kind of what's included in that?
Well, I am graced and privileged to serve as worship pastor at a Rising Star Church here on the east side of Fort Worth.
Okay.
Shout out to my Pastor Ralph S. Emerson, just texting a few minutes ago. Man, I've been there since January,
Okay.
um, and I oversee all things worship and production,
Beautiful.
um, from uh, worship team, choir, production, video announcements,
Yeah.
uh, the experience itself. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Yeah,
Overall, or just worship experience?
the worship experience.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. Yeah.
I just asked because a couple years ago, another friend of mine, he's a worship pastor as well, was telling me like this. It's a new category called like experienced pastor that deals with
Oh yeah.
everybody's whole church experience. But okay, very cool, man. And it's as I said, like as watching some of the stuff that you put out, it's like you're one of the few guys that I've seen have that position, but actually are able to be hands on, and I don't mean any shade by this, but like hands
Oh no,
on,
you good.
knowledgeable, and like useful in all those departments. All those sub auxiliaries underneath. Where you see people who's worship passion, like they just lead worship, and then there's another guy under them that's like, oh, he's really good at sounding, he's really good at this, and which is fine. You can delegate, but like.
Yeah.
No, Corey is sweet on lights. Like I'm not saying Ableton. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool running. Um,
Yeah, I
so
do everything except for sing. Like I can't. I'm
that's
not a
so
singer.
interesting.
Like I'm not a singer, so you'll
Hmm.
never. It's probably a good thing because I probably would.
You see, now
Um,
for those that's watching,
yeah,
take our word for it. Where we
if
say,
I could sing, I probably wouldn't be on the live right now because I'd
yeah,
be somewhere singing, or I don't even know if I'd be in Texas if I could
mighty God.
sing, but I cannot sing. I'm not a singer. I mean, I could hold a note, but
Hmm.
you'll never catch me trying to lead praise and worship
See,
or
we do exist.
but all the other aspects of it,
Hmm.
I believe I'm graced for it because my number one purpose, I believe, my purpose is the local church.
Yeah, yeah.
So I care more about the local church than I'm not trying to go on tour. No
I've
shade
said that for
to,
you. Somebody's got to stay home.
and I'm okay with that. Like I'm up for I'm excited about Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
That's enough for me. I can do all the fanciness of whatever, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying,
Hmm.
for a Sunday morning or a night of worship or whatever the case may be. So, but
So
that's
it's
what I
so
do.
many,
Yeah.
yeah. It's so many different directions I could go in now that you've. Because that was going to be one of my questions. Like, do you sing? Because that's the one thing I don't know that I've seen.
Hmm.
So I don't know where I want to go now. Because there's so much integration. Let me start here
Okay.
because I've seen how you have upgraded where you are. Right. It seems like you upgraded the whole experience. And there are things that few people may really deem as important. Yet there's also like little sub arguments going on about lights on or lights off, and do we need the LED, and do we need the what I'm saying, all these little things that are not as important as the big picture, but they are relevant and they do make a noticeable difference. So I'm gonna start with this question: what do you feel is really being overlooked, or not taken as important as it should, as it relates to worship arts, things under your umbrella that would enhance a worship experience?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is people are scared to change.
Hmm.
They're scared to change. They're scared to try something different. Um, I'm gonna make a statement, and I've said this for years. I believe the some of the black church, because this is not all black church, right?
Mm.
I believe some of our black church is our oh we're behind.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, now we want to do, for an example, and this is in stems, and I
Yeah.
know we'll probably talk about it later more, but
Hmm.
you know, I get hit up with a lot of churches that want, oh man, we want our stems. Okay, cool.
Hmm.
I was running stems in 2009
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
a Pro Tools rig. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I
Yeah.
was running concerts or with people don't know about the Roland
1880.
16 1880
Yes, sir.
16 2480, the
Yeah.
Yamaha AW16G. People don't, but they'll say that stuff and it's like, all right, well, This is what it takes to get into it. This is how you get into it. But first of all, let's start. Let's not start with running stems.
Hmm.
Can your drummer play with a loop?
Come on, man.
So I think just having that conversation of like knowing the why
Hmm.
you want we want to do stuff, but just scared, not like scared to just try and change and evolve with the times. Like I mean, I just think that's one of the biggest things. Like, and from a creative perspective, like rethinking the way we play a song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like just that can bring some new life, some new flavor that can grab the attention and maybe help open the heart of the unsaved.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think sometimes in church we put so much emphasis on the saved,
Yeah.
and it's like, what about the people that don't know nothing about
Mm.
this Jesus we in here praising for with Hayes and Lights and Ableton and playing worship strings? Like, how can we connect with them and it's so spooky? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would
So
say change is the biggest thing for me.
that's fair, and I mean, it bleeds into it's kind of the catalyst for everything else. So with that, it's still a couple different directions to go, but I kind of want to go more in the visual aspect because I think in what you're saying, I agree, and I've been saying some of the same things for a couple of years. So you said something along the lines of like, how can we make space for the unbeliever without it being so spooky, right? So how does that go into your visionary mind too? Because again, when you and we're going more like non-musical now, but you're thinking about like light scenes and stage design maybe and things of that nature, like what kind of things play into your mind as like how do I set this up for maximum engagement across the board, like colors and things like that. Like you don't want it to be spooky, you don't want it to be too much, but you want to still keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'll say it like this, man. I think so. I got to my church January of this year.
Okay.
Um, it's 5 generations in our church, right?
Wow. Okay.
Like you got a 24-year-old, sitting on the front row
Uh huh.
worshiping God, but 3 rows back, you got somebody on a walker,
Wow.
right? So our pastor, he grew up in that church. His dad used to pastor the church for 33 years.
Hmm.
So the pastor, he just got installed maybe like 2 years, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Okay. Okay.
So he had already like I think prepped some of the groundwork for where we are today. Like
Okay.
before he got there, they didn't have any light up lights that change
Hmm.
colors on the wall. Was well, a year and a half ago he got there. 2 weeks after he's installed as pastor, he puts up a black drape on the back wall.
Hmm.
Um, and behind that wall, it was red. It had
Okay.
been red for 30 years. I'm a red wall. I got pictures.
Yeah.
And if anybody on here been to the church, know that was a red wall. So he
Hmm.
had already laid the foundation. I believe that me coming along to be able to what you maybe seen the past few weeks
Hmm.
is it's just vision coming together, right?
Okay.
Meaning my vision, his vision, it needs to align with the head, with
Yeah.
the pastor's vision. Like
Yeah.
I need whatever I do need to support.
Absolutely.
So he want all the drama with the lights and what I'm saying, haze and all right, let's do it, right?
Hmm.
But I do realize who's sitting in the chairs.
Hmm.
We also realize who we're trying to attract and not just somebody else's church members, but somebody who don't know about church at all,
Yeah.
right? Um so I've been very careful on how I do our lights. Like I would love for them to do more. And
Okay.
we just not there right now. And the biggest thing I probably say for me, man, that I've been learning in this season is pace, which is
Yeah.
one of our values at the church is pace. Us having lights, if we depended on having lights to bring Jesus in, then we're missing it.
Right. Right.
We've had plenty of Sundays where the lights didn't change colors, where the wall was a whatever color. You know what I'm saying? And the
Mm-hmm.
presence of God was sticking there.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think
Hmm.
the production side of it, I love it. That's my bag, as the young people say.
Yeah.
But I also know how I can just sit down and play the
You can
piano
see
or whatever. You know what I mean?
that.
So I hope that answers the question because I got a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, no, no. You're right. I think it sets a good foundation because you're right. Like it's a team effort, right? Vision is important, so it speaks to direction. It's like, okay,
yeah,
where are we going and how do we get there, right? And being aligned with that because while we want maybe the church at large or the global congregation to be okay with changing, we gotta leadership has to be okay with leading the charge sometimes on that change, and having
hmm
the not only the heart but having the knowledge, the mind to know how to do that. Which kind of leads to my next question, which is like,
Shout out to Aaron Weaver, my dude from Dallas, on here.
yes, sir. So, what do people need? Like, okay, let's speak to those that are less knowledgeable for a second because I feel like, and this is across the board with stems, with lights, with video. I feel like if I'm honest, there's a measure of laziness, right, and then there's a measure of ignorance, right? So there's a measure of, oh, let's buy the stems from wherever, Loop Community, multi tracks, whatever, and then I'll just sit back and pitter patter, or maybe play some pads and let them carry it, or let's just throw some lights on here, one color, set it and forget it. Let's set some levels and then let that point this camera here, point that camera there, and then y'all go ahead. And then there's a measure of, okay, I have this stuff, but I don't know what I'm doing, right? So, what are some practical tips, or what's some direction to help those? Let's speak to both. So, for the people who are the set it and forget it and kind of the disengaged, what are some things to maybe help them, encourage them to be a little more active, like to show how effective actual engagement and attentiveness can be? And then for those that are just ignorant and just don't know, what are some practical tips that they can do, or where can they go to learn more about how to effectively use what they have?
Um, I would say they can call me. I'm just playing. No, I think one of the biggest things is a lot of times. Okay, it's cool if you don't want haze in your church. You don't want moving lights. Man, there's a well-known church. If I don't want to like be name call it or name drop it.
Hmm.
I play there probably um 6, 7 times a year.
Okay.
I mean, like, oh, I see one of my sons is on here, Jordan Fudge.
Yes,
That's one of
sir.
my
Shout you
sons
out.
in the ministry. And then I see one of my brothers, Mark Ayers, is on here.
Yes, sir.
Great artist. You need to get him on here. He's a famous artist.
Okay.
Surprised he in town. But no, I would say uh you gotta know your house,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I think you also have to find what works for you and expose yourself to greater.
Hmm.
I never forget this 2008 or 9, and
Hmm.
I'm at a church here in the Metroplex. It used to be called Ambassadors. And the old pastor Chris Feldman. I had felt this tug and this urge to like do more than just be the organ player at
Yeah.
the church.
Yeah.
I just felt this urge to like, and I wasn't like hip to production like I am now or have been
Hmm.
for the past 10 years or so. And I was like, man, I kept asking people at the church, like, I would ask the first lady, like, hey, what more do you expect out of me
Wow.
here at the church? I asked the finance lady, I asked anybody in leadership I would ask. So finally
Hmm.
I asked the pastor one day. He said, want to know? He said, come up here Saturday at 4 o'clock. It's like, all right, mind you, I live right behind the church. So I go up there, we get in the car, we jump and drive to Ed Young's church
Okay.
fellowship. Ed Young at the time is 2006, 7. So they booming. They got campuses everywhere. And they were having a series, church at the movies or whatever the case may be. A lot of churches do that.
Hmm.
Bro, we park, we walk in. I've never seen nothing like this in my life. It's people dressed. Now, this may be overkill,
Right.
right? But it's people dressed up like Arnold Schwarzenegger walking around.
Hmm.
People dressed like out of just characters,
It's
RoboCop or
like
whatever
a
was
Comic Con
popular.
type thing for church.
No, this was like their theme was like summer at the movies.
Oh, okay. 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 I got you.
So all you seeing is you out eat popcorn, then we go on the service, and I'm like, yo, I didn't know you could do church like this.
Hmm.
So that level of exposure for me exposed me to a greater. So
Mm.
I wasn't just going to look at the next church down the street, no shade to anybody,
Right. Right.
but I was looking at something more theatrical, more. That's kind of what drew me to all this production and all this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
think if you have limited stuff, it's just exposing yourself to the right things.
Hmm.
Even to this day, I have I have 3 or 4 churches I probably watch every week.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with I don't think nothing wrong with being a copycat as long as you're copying the right cat.
For sure. For
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? But utilizing, all right, we're gonna grab a piece from what they do over here and put you know what I'm saying? It's just like
Absolutely. Absolutely.
learning a lick or learning a chord progression, but you put your own flat minor or whatever. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Your
Yeah.
own. So I think that's the biggest thing is finding like some places and spaces where you want to go,
Hmm.
and then trying to connect with those people. I mean, like literally send them an email, go to the church during the day. Hey, I'm trying to meet with the creative pastor, the experience director, whoever, the worship, the MD. Now
Yeah.
you in the age of social media. You know how many times I done DM'd a musician about some stems?
Oh
I,
yeah. That's
I,
gonna that's gonna
I
happen.
would I would DM the artist. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
hey, and sometimes I get a response, and sometimes I get that Dropbox file. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think just being able to have the right places to look to, but knowing where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
And then I think another thing is we have to learn how to utilize what we have.
Yeah.
Like in our stage remodel that we did at the church, not one light fixture that we have up there was bought new. All of it was stuff that was laying around.
Mighty God.
People, if one day I might do I put 3 lights. They're on rolling microphone stands. Yeah, I'm talking about the big rolling microphone
Yeah.
stands that would
Yeah.
use for
For
the
studio.
church.
Yeah.
For some reason, have like 6 of them.
Wow.
And we was gonna get a guy at our church to build it, and then I was just praying and thinking like, Lord, what can I do? What can we do? And I thought about them mic stands, and I found some clamps that we had sitting at the church,
Hmm.
and came up with it. So I just utilized what we had. I take that back. The only thing we bought was a haze machine.
Okay. But
but everything else was all laying around. I'm saying,
it's
I
crazy.
hadn't even bought no DMX cables. It's
Wow,
just, you,
wow.
so I think it's utilizing what you have and trying to learn the equipment that you have, trying to learn what more can this do.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, it's not always about going to buy the latest or greatest keyboard.
for
You
sure.
know what I mean? Like, or the latest and greatest soundboard or whatever it is you're trying to do. Sometimes you got what you need, you just don't know it. You haven't spent time. And you said something about lazy. So I think a lot of times, and I get it, man. We have people who don't. People hit me up all the time about Ableton
Hmm. Hmm.
over the past, I mean, several years. I'm not a guru. I don't know everything. I just have a different type of hunger to learn it. Like, I will stay up late researching. And I'm gonna give a tip I do to this day. It's all about the question you ask.
Yeah.
And you say, about who? Well, who are you asking? YouTube,
YouTube,
Google.
you duck. Yeah.
I will YouTube or ask the question like, "Hey, how to make Ableton and Light Key talk?" You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
gonna bring up, however many videos. You know what I'm saying? But a lot
Hmm.
of times we don't want to sit, or maybe I just had a grace for it. We don't want to sit to learn that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like uh just gear sounds. Like, I have Omnisphere. I don't use it like I know some other people use it.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? I got a Nord, but I don't use the synth section like some other people use it for church. I'm pretty simple. I like about 6 to 8 sounds depending on what keyboard I'm on. I like the layer. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I just have a sound that I like,
Hmm.
and I can get it on any. I got it on my laptop 4 different ways. I got it on
Back up
my
to the back.
Nord. I
Yeah.
mean, I got a Nord, but I got J-pop brass on there. I got Hugo bass on the Nord, and you probably see, and them are rolling sounds. But I just go on and learn it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the biggest things. We don't want to learn stuff or try to research it. And
So
it's like, yeah.
yeah. So as a leader now, right? Because I view these positions. If you are a director of something, music director, worship arts pastor, or like, I view those as leader first. Gift, skill, whatever second, right? So as you're looking at the ministry slash service aspect now, right?
Okay.
You were saying that some people, just don't want to learn, and I feel like that can translate a lot of different ways. Whether you don't want to, it comes down to learning your craft, and how much you devote to that. So whether you want to learn, more about sound or learn more about videos or just learning your part, learning the words to the song, like spending time, like not hiding behind the stems and learning the actual record, and like all, what I'm
Woo!
saying, like, so what do you do to a there's a certain measure of like picking the right person or the right people to do the job or to do what needs to be done, and b kind of lighting that fire and lighting that spark to hopefully manufacture a hunger to want to go and do more, for that person to want to do more on their own. Because for me, it's like I have a certain measure of sympathy for the volunteer because it's like, okay, you can make the argument that like, you know, I'm not being paid to be here. I don't got to do this. I don't know. Okay, whatever. But then there's a certain measure of like you still signed up for this. Like you know what I'm saying. You put your name on the paper. You came to rehearsal. You did. You said I want to. And even for you said you got 5 generations. So if there's I don't know what your personnel is like, but if there's you know the category of, oh, my mama made me, or my mama said I do it, and my mama brought me to the, you know, if there's still a measure of that going on, it's like, okay, trying to work with that. What are some things you do from that perspective to kind of, like I said, manufacture or at least be a catalyst or spark to that fire to say, okay, you know, I know you're here. Let's make use of this time, and this is what could be happening, you know, and hopefully
Hmm.
get some organic, you know, want to out of that individual.
I think it's a good question. It's packed. It's heavy. I
Yeah.
mean, um, I'm gonna try to remember. It's a few things. First, I want to bring word into this. Colossians 3:23.
Okay.
Y'all Bible scholars can look it up later. Basically, it just says, "Do as unto the Lord, and not as unto men." So whatever you're doing, whatever you signed up for, if it's to be a usher, if it's to run front of house, if it's to like be the alto, if it's to be the executive pastor, the culinary connoisseur cook, I don't
Hmm.
know. You know what I'm saying? Like, do it as unto the Lord.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not unto man, not unto the pastor, because I'm trying to get brownie points to get my name called out, or
Well, man,
get me a plaque, or get a chair named after me. Um, I think doing it is unto the Lord.
not unto the pastor is huge because it's
Yeah,
even from somebody
eh,
your place, like that's something to balance, you know. Yeah.
yeah, and I think another thing is people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It's a
Hmm.
great leadership principle I was taught for one of my old pastors, Ray Taylor. Like people, I think if you can like, and I'm talking about that, that teen that really don't want to do this. Heck, that adult that don't want to do whatever that is,
They
or you know
exist.
what I'm saying.
Hmm.
For me, my personality, I am. I like to joke. I like to have fun. I don't mind the grind. I don't mind the work, right? But I'm just a fun person. I'm gonna find something funny. That's just me, right?
Hmm.
But I think when you can let people know you generally care about them more than just the position or what they can do for you,
Hmm.
you'll win them all day.
Yeah.
And you'll have people that will go. You'll be like, "Hey, man, we finna go and have a. I'm thinking about doing a worship night, man. For real? Oh, okay. But I want to do it on the roof. What? Yeah, man. You don't think it'd be cool if we do it on the roof? You know what I'm saying? I come up
Hmm.
with this idea, yada yada. All right, man. I think this is crazy, but let's go. They trust you. They trust you. They respect you, right?
Hmm.
So they don't have a problem with following you as a leader. Um, I think that the Colossians, I gotta get my thoughts together. Colossians
Good.
said that
Uh huh.
people knowing how much you care about them. And what was the last one you said?
Uh,
Or the
yeah, like
another?
some things that you do to kind of manufacture, you know, their desire to go and learn more after they see how, you know, see the potential of like what they do, you know.
Oh man, you celebrate. You gotta, sometimes you gotta run a sandwich, do a sandwich method. You put something good on the front end of
Yeah.
how they progress, then you put the not so good thing in the middle, then you come back in and close it off. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? You
Okay.
encourage people.
Yeah.
You encourage them. You take time. You teach them. You show them. It's okay if you miss a light cue.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not that ain't nobody. Man, we was having it's a few Sundays ago, and I think we had our stage remodeled. We were done. I think it was the last week of it,
Hmm.
and we were doing our huddle, and I led the huddle that Sunday morning, and I told people like, "Yo, this was when the Beyonce thing happened, when her car fell or tilt over at a concert."
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I said, man, I was telling people like, yo, don't worry about the pressure. Nobody's getting fired today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do this as unto the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's
Hmm.
gonna get fired. If we miss a lighting cue, you think God is mad? Okay, we don't want distractions, right? We don't want just
Right.
random. The pastor's preaching, and all of a sudden the prayer music, the pre-service music starts blasting.
Right.
No, we don't want that. But altos, if you miss your note, man, 9 times out of 10, the only person who's gonna know you missed it is you and whoever else got you in that intermix, or the few people. Think about the people that come to church. Half of them don't know
Right.
if they sharp or flat. You got a few that will know, like, ooh,
Hmm.
something ain't right with you know what I'm
Mighty
saying?
God.
But
Yes, sir.
but I think just spending time with those people, um, offering training, offering asking what they think about it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'll do that a lot. Like I already
Right.
have the decision in my head. Like, all right, we need to do X, Y, Z because I know this is a thing. This is what. But what you think?
Mhm. Yeah.
Hey Joe, what you think? Why you think this is? What you think we should do? And you know what I'm saying? I'll let them talk and think about it. And here's the thing: like half of what they saying could be right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, what? And it might be a learning thing for me where I'm like, oh, you know what? I didn't even think about that because I'm not in the seat that they're sitting in.
Right. Right.
Often, right? Oftentimes, we can't tell you. I'm not. I'm always on the keyboard, so I can't tell you what front of house sounds like. Like
Right.
one of the ladies that volunteers now, Miss Felicia. She probably don't hear her, or she's been serving at the church here, running audio.
Okay.
Been doing good. I mean, we've been getting more compliments between her and my other guy named Darman.
Beautiful.
They've been getting compliments like, man, people's like, did y'all buy a new sound system when we did the remodel? Like, no, we would love to go buy a new wing and
Right.
a new PA, but we're not there yet.
Right.
I
Right.
said, we didn't do nothing. We just been talking about like philosophy,
Yep.
how to mix, the importance of why you need to hear stems,
Hmm.
where they should sit in the mix, where the drum loops should sit in the mix, where the vocals should sit in the mix. We ain't went in and done nothing major to the system.
Just how
But
you
them
just.
people have been in and they hungry. So like
Yeah.
especially when you got some hungry people, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Man, you can change. Jesus turned the world upside down with 12. Well, I guess it was actually three because think about it. So, but I think yeah, just doing stuff to give people opportunity to grow,
Hmm.
training them, um, like that's going to be my big thing for the next to the end of the year.
Yeah.
Is really more so like training,
Equipping. Yeah. It's so needed right
equipping,
now.
and I'm finna like I'm trying to pinpoint find us 2 or 3 churches that we can look up to.
Yeah.
And so like it's stuff I want to improve with our screen, like with camera shots and stuff like that, or in room. But I don't want to show them, yeah, go watch this church that I know got 14 cameras.
Right.
Because
Right.
it could be overwhelming. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Hmm.
So I gotta find something that we can that's obtainable, that reachable. Because
Yeah.
it's levels to it, you know what I mean? So
Smart goals. Right. Right. So we probably gonna go a touch over. Y'all bear with us, but cause I got
I'm
like
good.
two, three more questions that I think are pertinent. So, um, my first question out of that three is some leadership advice. Somebody like yourself who, although you have individuals like you mentioned, you got, of course, you got a band, you got singers, you got people that run sound, that do your stream and all this kind of stuff. But you are there doing a lot of stuff yourself, making sure certain things are hooked up right and talking to one another and doing test runs and all that. So, what are some things that you do to avoid burnout?
Avoid burnout.
Yeah.
Um, in 2 weeks, I'll be in well, I think it's Punta Cana or something like
Hmm.
that, or Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
Me and my wife and my youngest daughter and my in-laws, we'll be not in the States for a weekend.
Yeah.
Um, so that's something I had to learn. Like I was always like I wouldn't miss church.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Not just because of I don't want to miss it because I need that check, that Sunday check.
Right.
I've just
Right.
kind of always been, by the grace of God, on like a salary. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, but it got to the point to where I had to start break. I would break away. I would take off.
Hmm.
Um, for me, and I'm saying take off, not just like yeah, I'm not going to church at all that Sunday,
Yeah.
or I'm not going to watch our my stream, whatever the case may be. For me, it's just I just try to break away.
Yeah.
I try to break away. I try to have a weekly Sabbath day,
Okay. Good. Yeah. Yeah.
and I do good, and then sometimes I don't. Um, and I'm saying a weekly Sabbath where I try not to fool with nothing or think of anything that has to do with my church.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to think about no planning center. I ain't trying to think about no leadership development, no Ableton, no Light Key, no X32s, no
Hmm.
choir songs, no I ain't no.
Um, sub question to that. I
Okay.
believe on. Can you talk to the leader who is kind of like in that position out of I feel called to this church and I want to serve it. I don't necessarily feel called to serve in this way, but it needed to be done, so I'm here.
Well, so elaborate on that a little bit more.
So there are those I've talked to people specifically in music ministry who maybe don't want to be a worship pastor or worship leader or don't want this role, but there was nobody else to do it, so I stepped up. And that can cause some frustration or some friction. What would you say to that person?
I would say to them, I get you. You got seasons of where you have to step into places and spaces
Mm,
that may not be your deal, right?
hmm.
I think first you got to know your purpose. You have to know the difference between passion and purpose.
Yeah.
Corey, am how can I say this? I have some passion about like doing records, producing.
Mm,
That ain't part of my purpose though. I know that. You know what I mean? Can I do those things? Yeah. Can I record? Can I help write or can I write? Yeah. But I don't think that's my purpose to be like that. So I think when you get in those places, you have to have some real conversations, some honest conversations. One
mm,
with you and God. You know what I mean? And this could just be the season that you're in that you need to sit in this place. Ooh, that was yeah. You gotta. I think sometimes we ask God for answers to stuff, and sometimes he answers our questions in ways we never thought he would answer them.
yeah.
Which means we may have to experience things that we never thought we would have to experience. Uh,
Interesting.
so
Yeah.
like I think yeah, you gotta have a conversation with God because maybe that's the season that you're in, and you need to go through it. Because I believe everything that we go through is for somebody else.
Yeah.
It's a just yeah, we go through stuff for other people so we can help them. Now we should be learning through that valley. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, not okay, yeah, God, I want to get out of it, but God, I just need to. I want to just. I want to know, and I want to find more strength knowing that you were in the valley with me.
Mighty God. Yes, sir, Doc. We're gonna be
You
at
know
your
what I'm saying?
start,
Like,
start that.
if I got strength to know I'm in a fight, but I got my wife, I got my mom, I got my daughters, I got, you know, I can call Pastor Chan, I can call Justin. You know what I'm saying? I got people
Mhm.
with me. It's a little bit easier to fight when you feel
Yeah,
like you in the valley when you got people with you. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Um,
So it's a
so
strategy
you got to
then.
have that conversation. You got to have that conversation with God, and then I think you also have to. I mean, you got to know when that season is up
Yeah, yeah. Like one of the
to
things I heard you
let
say
it go. Yeah,
off the jump is just like be okay with saying no, which can be hard. You know.
and let me say, I'm the guy that love. I can talk church. If my wife walked in this room or jump on this thing, all you do is talk church. I'm just, I'm just messing, but
Right, right.
I can talk it all day,
Mhm.
especially like local church. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, you could do this. We could do this in church. You could do that. Like, I can just talk and research and think about it.
Mhm.
And my wife just busting the room talking about the end, dude.
Hey,
Crazy.
life.
Yeah. So, dang, I forgot what I was saying now.
Mighty God.
Um, I don't forgot what I was saying.
You say that you could talk church, but I
Yeah,
was
I
just
haven't talked charts all day, but you asked me, what was the question you asked me?
I was just
Uh,
asking about like the person who kind of ended up in a position that they didn't want to be in necessarily well out of obligation. Like there was nobody else to do it, so I stepped up to do it. But I really don't want to, or maybe don't even feel called to do it. But since I feel called here, I want to help, so I stepped up.
yeah, I think a lot of times we have to, of course, like I said, consult God, but also I
Mhm.
think we got to have an honest conversation with leadership,
Yeah, yeah,
whoever the leader is, to be like, hey, this that really ain't my bag. That ain't really what I'll do. Prime example, video is not my thing.
okay,
Me stepping into Rising Star in January, I had to go and learn video, and it's I've had days these past 7 months where it's kicked my tail, where I'm
mm,
like, man, get somebody else to do it. Because I just, between OBS and you got to have this HDMI and then this PTZ, then you got to put it on the network. And, you know, I
yeah,
just do not like the video world.
yeah,
Mute, but you talking about lights and Ableton and audio? Yeah, I'm
right, right,
but that's the season I'm in, right?
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
I have learned to pace myself. I've learned how to celebrate wins, but also identify losses, or you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Um, but I know at a certain point, I won't be able to. You know,
kind of knowing your limits.
I know my limits, but it's a good thing I'm learning.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, yeah, maybe in a year or two, we might be to the point where we'll have a production person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But I think knowing that you're saying a place you're called to, you just ask for grace in that season to give you the strength, give you the wisdom, place you around.
mm,
I got 4 or 5 people I can call for video stuff. Damon Callahan is one of my boys. I can call him. Hey, bro, I do not understand why this OBS ain't working. Why this, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Um, yeah, just honest conversations. And I think sometimes we don't want to have it
mm-hmm.
with the leadership or the pastor. We don't want to hurt them. Oh, baby, we scared we're gonna lose our job.
Mighty God, that's real. That's real. When that kind of leads to okay, this may be my last question.
Oh,
Uh,
you good?
what, from your perspective, what causes? And this, I noticed I'm opening Pandora's box, but what causes I guess I'll put it somebody in your position, right? A worship pastor. What causes the worship pastor and the actual senior pastor to have friction, and what causes your relationship with your pastor at Rise and Start to work so well?
I think the biggest thing that causes friction is understanding vision.
Okay.
Like I talked about it earlier, um, everything that I do that I'm responsible for, I'm gonna do the best that I can to steward it, that it aligns with the main vision of the house.
Mm,
That's you know what I mean. Like
yeah.
it's a my what I see, how I see worship and production on my level should be a subvision of the main vision of the house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and now that's the first thing. The second thing, relationship. It's I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of I mean, yeah, they don't. If you don't talk, like, if they don't pastor hanging out every day, no.
Mm,
But like when we need, we've had to take a car ride to go look at a piece of equipment, or you know what I'm saying, just whatever the case may be, or just. I remember when we started to talk about the remodel in the sanctuary,
mm,
we would just go in the sanctuary, sit and dream,
wow. Which leads back
just
to this.
dream,
But yeah.
would dream. You know what I'm saying? Dream about, oh man, what if we could do this? What if we could do that? It's like, oh, okay. So the way my wheels were is like, well, okay, how can we do it, but do it cheap or
Yeah.
cost efficient?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or he may know this person in the church that can do this, or somebody else that can do this. I'm like, oh, okay. A lot of stuff is just relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the biggest things that will help the worship pastor and the main pastor if they're able to, because like if you get into bigger churches, that's not how it is.
Right. Right.
I I'm not gonna name no church, but I served at a church for a while, for a little bit, and I mean, I had a great time. Nothing bad to say about the people.
Hmm.
My time, it just wasn't a fit,
Yeah.
and well, it wasn't like I used to, where I was connected to the main pastor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, my main person was the worship pastor. But
Hmm.
then the worship pastor had another pastor over him before the. But that's just the way their structure was,
Yeah.
and it worked
And
for them,
it has to. Yeah.
and it works for them. So I think the biggest thing is um, time, time and conversation,
Yeah.
and I'm learning more about. Like me and my pastor knew each other. Like, have we
Mhm.
ever just like hung out and went bowling? Or, nah, we had. Well, we've been knowing each other around the city for 20 years.
Wow. Okay.
And I really believe it was a God ordained timing and thing where it was time for us to be able to partner and serve up under him
That's
to you know what I'm saying? Never in a million years I thought I'd be back on the east side of Fort Worth where I grew up.
yeah. It's been a lot of full circle things with you, which I mean that just opens up a whole lot of just a lot that we could deal with and open up even further. I can absolutely tell that this is even after a little over an hour, this is still very surface level. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff that, that we've
I
done.
mean,
Um,
yeah, I
but I'm not mad at what was disclosed tonight. It was
oh, no, no,
still
no.
still very enlightening. So I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here for the sake of time, man. We
Yeah,
probably need to work on it.
I thought you was finna come on here and ask me about this Maverick City and gospel
Nah,
music beef.
bruh. Man, look. I have had one private conversation with my guy, and it was the only thing I say about that, and we'll leave. Um, is I think I still see some people just still putting Caucasian people in CCM and black people in gospel. But I also have to sit back personally and say, what are the characteristics for gospel now? Because as soon as we say gospel, we're going to pull out, James Cleveland and Mississippi Mass and Thomas Dorsey and all that. And it's like, bro, like we are, no slight, but we are far removed
See, and like
from
that's
this
not,
camp.
and the
But
quest, like for me, if you say gospel to me, that's not
Mhm.
my gospel. That's not my era. I didn't grow up on James Cleveland. I didn't grow up on I. If you say gospel to me, when I started paying attention, we can,
Yeah,
sister First Lady Mary. I think for me, it would have to be like Hezekiah Walker. Um, like
yeah. So
that type of
it's
stuff is gospel for me. I'm talking why we
yeah,
sing. He can handle it. What you looking for?
all of that.
Um, Orlando Draper, I got a feeling. Shout by Milton Brunson. That's kind of gospel for me.
So it's a bigger conversation, which is why shameless plug. If he really gonna do it, I'm definitely gonna tune in. Justice Savage supposed to be going live and
Oh
so I'm gonna
yeah,
be in the place for that. But anyway, yes, we're gonna have to work out a part two because this is dope.
yeah.
Corey, man, nice talking with you, man. Nice learning even more, bro. This was
Oh
great.
yeah.
Thank all of y'all for
Anytime,
tuning
man.
in. Uh, I need to make this announcement now. Going to be switching my live days. So things are changing in the Murray household a little bit. So instead of going live on Mondays, we're going to look at doing Tuesdays just for the sake of schedule. So y'all stay tuned. Straight Up Productions, my personal page, YouTube, all of that. If you have not followed Kory Guy, if you want to connect with him, reach out to him. And yeah, man, until next time, Brody.